fucking
Fuck's
bot.
sakes, we could have done 3 episodes by now. Are you back for good, or you need more time?
Let's go.
No, you need more time?
No, we're good.
Welcome back, guys. We're here to talk to you about the Anaheim Ducks in episode 1. We tasked ourselves with coming up with one word to describe each team.
Oh, fuck,
So
I
if you
didn't do
guys
that.
want to go ahead, think of
Okay,
Listen,
I got
off
one.
the top.
I got
okay?
one.
Off
I got
the
one.
top.
I
It's
got
off
one.
the top.
I got one.
So describe the Anaheim Ducks in one word, fellas.
Trash.
Okay, good one.
Nice.
Todd? Hello? Fuck!
Underachieving.
Great. Mine was old. They're just old as fuck. So
They're not
as we
old this year, though.
I think they had the highest age or average of age in the whole league, right? Last year? No? Am I wrong?
Yeah, last year they were.
Last
Yeah.
year. We'll
So
talk
this
about
year
20
we're gonna we'll get into it. Hold your fucking horses.
I still can't
Okay.
believe that Todd strained his brain for 90 seconds before uttering
I had
that
a
word.
word written down, and I changed my mind as I was about to say it, so I didn't say it.
Jesus Christ and stuff.
All right, well,
So yeah, you guys want to go over stats from 2018?
yeah,
Yeah,
let's do it.
Um,
Well, hey, first off, I will say, I actually thought just by memory that they finished dead last in the West, which wasn't the case.
No.
So I'm
Hard to
already,
believe, huh?
yeah, with the way they played and the way that they were, especially on on the road. Oh boy, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So player, do you want to do team stats or player stats?
No, we'll do team first.
All right,
Do
all
that,
right.
right?
Well, I think one of the biggest things for them last year was they were 31st in the league in scoring. And when you got guys like Getzlaff, Perry, Kessler, even though he was injured for most of the year,
Silverberg.
that just can't happen.
Yeah.
And 24th on the power play, that's way too low. When you have star power like that with Fowler on the back end and Lindholm, that's way too.
Yeah. And they actually, surprisingly, they have a good goalie in Gibson. He's fucking sees like 50
goaltending
shots
is
a night.
one of those It was one of those positions they are not worried about whatsoever, right?
Yeah. So
Although,
Yeah.
but even their goalies underperformed last year. Gibson
but
had a
I
tough.
think Gibson honestly did everything he could with the team that he had in front of him last year.
I guess so, yeah.
Because if you watch some of their games, he's standing on his head, night in, night out, and they're just not scoring goals.
yeah.
They're losing games like 5-1, 5-2. Games
Yeah.
aren't even close, you know?
I mean, and Gibson still finished with a winning record on the season, anyways. So
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's not too
Yeah.
bad. Who the hell? So they had Chad Johnson, who played 9 games, 5 losses.
Yeah, that's kind of
Didn't get a dub in 9. So that's an eighth of your
yeah.
season right there.
Yeah. Finished with 80 points. Okay. I mean, face it, you have to at least be like 95 to 100 points to even have a sniff at the playoffs. So you're 15 to 20 points there. 21st in goals against. Like, in no aspect of their game were they even close to being the team that they were 2-3 years ago. 100 points, 109 point seasons. They're getting way too old. They're too slow. They got to inject some youth into it, and I think that's what we're going to see this year. Their away record, Larry, you brought it up, 16, 23, and 2.
Yeah,
I know
that's tough.
home
That's tough.
field or home arena advantage plays a part, but you got to find a way to at least get 20 wins on the road. You have to.
It is tough when you're a West Coast team, though. The travel can't be easy.
No, that's true.
Did it say here how they play against the Eastern Conference? I don't know if you guys have access to that.
I didn't have any stats on that, but just thinking about that, wouldn't it be easier for a Western team to play in the East than an East to play in the West, just because of the time difference?
Well, I mean, you're playing later at night, dude. Your body clock's all over the place. I don't think
You're playing at 10 o'clock and you go to the East. It's like you're playing at 4 p.m. When you're back at home, you're waking up from your nap at 4. You know, you're getting ready to go to the rink. You know,
your game day routine's a little bit shortened.
It's a little shorter, yeah. I think it's almost easier for the Eastern teams nowadays to go out west because you're like, okay, I'm
buy
just gonna
yourself
play a
some
little
time,
later game, you know.
Okay, cool. So Power play, 17%, 24th in the league. Their PK, 79%, just under the 20th mark there. They're finished at
I
19.
just want to add something. I thought Kessler missed a bunch of games last year. He only missed 22 games. He played 60 games last year.
What?
Yeah.
He only had 8 points.
Yeah.
Oh, tough.
Him and Perry
Yeah.
were just brutal.
Yeah, him and Perry. I mean,
Well, Perry missed the whole
obviously
season,
now
didn't
Perry played. What did he play? He played 31. So
he?
played,
He got hurt in preseason, right? With the
Yeah.
torn MCL or
Right.
whatever it was.
Yeah, but Kessler, I did not even know he played that many games. I
No.
thought he played way less.
But he was playing injured. I know that,
was
right?
playing
Like,
injured,
so now
of
he's
course.
getting his he got surgery, I
He's
believe, in
getting
the
his
summer.
buyout.
So
Yeah, he's actually retired now. He's retired because
Oh.
of it. So. Yeah.
well,
I dug up a quick stat for basically to summarize their entire season. They started off the season, I think they were like 11-6. And then going into the month of January, they had 12 straight losses. Then they won 2, lost another 7. They flip-flop back and forth. In 30 games between January and February, they lost 25.
oh Jesus. That's tough.
Tough.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of at a loss like, when it comes to the Ducks, just because they've always been a powerhouse out west, and
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
they were always amongst like the top teams that you figure was they'd be a contender every playoffs, and to see them slip so much in such a short span of time, and now all their star players, slipping out of the spotlight, and
Yeah,
it's
but
going
you
to be
got
up
to
to
see,
the new
you got to
guys.
look as well when they were at the top of their peak, right? Who was carrying that team? You had Getzlaff, you had Perry.
Well, that's
you
what
had
I'm saying.
Cogliano,
Kessler, and now
Kessler.
seeing those guys have such a steep like downfall over the course of the last year or so. Like now they just signed Adam Henrique to like a 5-year extension, didn't they? And like what?
Yeah.
He's the new
Yeah.
he's the gonna
He's their new
take
second
over.
line center, and then eventually take over, I suppose. But
Raquel
even
and
him, he's not that
Silverberg?
young, right?
No,
He's
that's
not that-
it. That's it. And like Silverberg and Raquel, I think underperformed for who they are. I think Silverberg is a hell of a player. Guy finishes with 24 tucks. He was the leading scorer on their team.
Yeah, it's
24 tucks, dude. Like they don't have any other 20 goal scorer.
And Getzlaff was their best point producer and only finished with 48.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Jesus Christ,
40. I mean, he was injured for I think 20 to like 25 games last year.
Yo,
Yeah, he missed about 19 games or 15 games.
I will say though, only one guy played all 82.
Josh Manson?
Adam Henry.
Adam Henry.
Oh, really?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Man.
So maybe they just had the injury bug all year, and
True.
we don't see it because they're out west, so we don't hear too much about them. And at
But
the
I
end of the
think
day, they
lost-
finished 10 points out of the playoffs, right? 6 points behind the next
Yeah.
or the next in line for the wild card. So they weren't
Yeah.
all that bad in the grand scheme of things.
No. But I think this year it's going to be a big rebuilding year for their team. I think with the new coach coming in, Dallas Aikens, that's going to be their main focus this year. Bringing in Tyler Steele, Sam Steele, and Troy Terry, Maxime
Yeah.
Comtois. They're really going to be pushing the youth, and I think they're just going to ride on Kessler, Henrique, Silverberg, Raquel to carry that load
And yo,
up front.
Yeah.
to touch on the coaching, man, like he was a stud with the Marlies, and then I think he didn't get much of a fair shake in Edmonton. He didn't have much of a roster to play
I mean,
with.
he was thrown into Edmonton when the
Absolutely.
fucking building was on fire, right?
He was
So,
already under the bus when he started his career
yeah,
in
exactly.
the pros. So I think this is going to be a good opportunity for him to step up and show what he can actually do. Because I think they're the Gulls, right? In the AHL,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I think they had some success the last couple of years since he's been there.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
did very well when he went back to the A after his stint in Edmonton.
Right.
And even last year, there was heavy talks of him coming actually up midway through the season. But I think they looked at
They
where
waited.
the team was, and they
Yeah.
were like, we're not going to throw him in at this point because he's just going to start off on the wrong foot again. Let's
Who
give
was
him a
it?
clean sheet.
Carlisle,
It was Carlisle, yeah, Randy.
man,
Our boy Randy,
tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
So predictions then for 2019-2020. Looking at where they finished and the other teams that they're going to be contending against for even a wild card spot, I personally don't believe they're going to be in the playoffs again. I do think they'll have a better year. They'll be a bubble team. But you look at Chicago, I think they're going to be even tougher to play with now that they finally have their number one goalie back, or at least he's trying to be there. They also brought in Lehner, who will, if Crawford can't go every night, Lehner can get the job done. Minnesota, I don't think will be that good, but then you have in the other division, Colorado, Dallas, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Nashville. Like that right there already is pretty much eating up.
That's all the Central.
Exactly.
Dude, I don't.
In the Pacific, I think it's pretty well locked in. Calgary, San Jose, Vegas, top three.
Yeah.
But
unless there's like a surprise.
I could see Arizona making like another late push again, because if you look back at last year, they were riding hot up until the playoffs, and then in the last 10 games, they just fell apart and they missed the playoffs by.
Thing is, I don't see any of those 8 teams dropping out of the playoffs.
No,
I don't think any of them are giving up their spot. And if one does, I think, like you said, you got Arizona coming up. Minnesota's a trash, like a dumpster fire because of their whole GM situation.
Yeah.
They made some horrible trades. They're going to be one of the few that go downwards. But like I think Edmonton's going to push for a playoff spot. So I don't know, man. I think they're going to finish at the same.
Did you just
spot.
throw Edmonton in the playoffs?
We said that.
I
like
did.
3 years.
I'm a believer that this year they get it done.
This is it.
This is the year.
I don't know.
McGee gets the
We'll
cup.
get to Edmonton when we get to them. We're still in Anaheim here.
But I will say I don't think
But,
they're not moving up from where they are now. I think they stay exactly where they are.
I think they might, if they stay hot early in the season, they could sniff maybe a wild card, but like not even. But I think towards the end of the year they're just going to fall off.
Yeah.
I just don't think they have the resiliency and to the depth that.
They're bringing in a bunch of younger guys who don't really have that 82 grind experience, right? So.
And Comtois is not.
But what I will
don't
say
think
is, I think these young kids they have coming in, they need to step up, and I think if they do, then they could be an exciting team to watch because there's a lot of firepower up front for them there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting the team going, and I think, like I said, with Dallas Eakins, he's had that experience in the EA. I think he can get this group of guys to buy into maybe a system, and
we'll see, man. We'll see. I think the thing is, like, again, since they're out west, like it's not necessarily like a team that we see a lot of.
Right.
But they're just, if we just base it off of what we've seen from them, they've gone down so quickly, and they haven't necessarily started much of a rebuild just because of how quickly their downfall happens. So I think they're really early on in the process, and I think it's going to take them like this entire season just to kind of go back towards the upward trend. So I don't think it's until next off season that we'll see any changes.
Yeah, you have to be patient.
Yeah,
that's for sure. So,
all right. Well,
is that it for remarks?
You guys good? Have players to watch or
to
look out for? Or
you kind of mentioned a couple of them. I just wanted to bring up the Comtois guy. They have him on daily faceoff as I think their number 2 left winger. I think if he can have a great year, it'll at least take some of the pressure off the top line of Raquel, Getzlaf, and Silverberg, I think it is. Let him develop on the second line, have them, distribute some of their goal scoring, because last year it was basically one line. That was it.
Yeah.
And if they didn't score, it was a 5-0 game, 4-0 game. So for me, it's Max Comtois.
I think I had this guy last year, to be honest, but both Raquel and Silverberg, to me, they're such important guys on the team, and they both underperformed last year, but they're so quick and they're so talented. And I think Anaheim was always known as a bit of a slower team in general, who they brought the weight and the strength to their game, but the speed was always kind of lacking with the big guys like Perry Getzlaf. So now having Raquel and Silverberg there, if they can up their game and get, have both of them be up in the mid-20s to the low 30s in terms of goals, then they might actually have a chance at doing something with their season. But otherwise, I'd say forget it.
Yeah, I think honestly for me, I'm looking at a guy like Troy Terry. He's got all this hype coming out from the U.S. program and all that. I think he really could have a breakout season this year. I'm not saying 30 goals by any stretch of the matter, but I think he could get, if he gets like 22, 23 goals a year, this year, and he can maybe bury like 50 points, 60 points, I'd call that a success for him. And I mean, you got to start looking at this young core, right? They're the ones that are going to be leading the charge for this year. You know, I don't see Getzlaf. I don't see Getzlaf even maybe sticking around this year. I think I don't know what his deal is. I going for like a rental. I don't know. Is his deal up? I don't know what his contract's at. But I could see an older guy like that maybe going on the move, trying to get a better opportunity. You know, especially if he sees all these young kids, maybe he won't want to stick around for.
Well, that and
the future,
even the team might want to move.
Right. Yeah. If the team wants to clear up some cap space.
Yeah, he's a UFA in 2021.
So
okay. So he's got one more year. So you could be one of those like Eric Carlson kind of rentals, you know.
Dude, he's making 8.2 now and 6 the year after. Right. So 2021-22 is when he's a UFA. Yeah. So that's a big cap hit, man. But I don't know many playoff teams that are, you know, pushing that are in their playoff push that can afford a guy like that. But
maybe
dump
Anaheim
some cap
keeps 4.
Yeah, maybe if they retain half,
hold some cap.
Yeah, that's the only way they do that, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so before we go, I just want to thank our sponsor. It is brought to you by Squatty Potty. Are you in pain when dropping the kids off at the pool? Cutting rope is too intense?
Don't
I'm
do anatomy.
talking about shitting. Squatty Potty's unique design helps maintain a more natural squatting position by raising your knee. Get yours today at Walmart.
They're not a sponsor. We're not sponsored.
100%.